As we learned in Catherine's video, the Druids neither paid taxes nor fought in battle. Many of the students spent 20 years in training, learning their tribe's traditions and mythology in order to strengthen their memory and keep knowledge a secret from the general population. In my video, I'm going to talk more about why they wanted to strengthen their memory and keep so much knowledge a secret from their population. Now we will pick up on line 7, Nunque. Nor do they think it is divine law to commit these things to letters. In this case, these things refer to the topics in which the Druids were studying. This sentence is an indirect statement because of the subjunctive verb existimant, the subject accusative fas, and the infinitive esse. Now we will pick back up with cum, although in the remaining part, for the most part, in public and private accounts, it was used in Greek letters. Since utantor is a present passive subjunctive verb, we can identify the cum clause as cum concessive, being translated as although. Utantor takes the ablative form. We know that Graecis Literis is ablative. So now at this time, the Gauls used the Greek alphabet to represent their own language, but eventually they will create their own letters and Latin language. So in this statement, Caesar is saying that the Druids do not write down their sacred accounts, but rather they use Greek letters to translate all other public and private accounts. This is why Caesar chose to write his letters to Cicero in Greek, so if they were intercepted, they would not be understood, since the Druids only knew Greek letters, but not the Greek language. So now we're going to start with videntur. They seem to me. Mihi is dative, so you're going to translate it as to me. Caesar uses mihi in order to speak to us as the author. He will use third person when he describes his role in an event, such as a general. So they seem to me to have instituted it for two reasons. Because they meaning the Druids, neither want the discipline to be risen among the common people. So a more literal form of this translation would be that the Druids do not want their practices to be known to the common people in order to keep it somewhat prestigious. So instituisi is a perfect active infinitive, and eferi is a passive infinitive, so that's why it would be translated as to be risen rather than just to rise. I'm going to pick back up with nunque. These nunque are correlative, so this one is neither, so this one will be nor those who learn, having relied on letters to strive less for memory. Now the Druids were not alone in this thought that literacy destroyed memory. Plato also had a similar argument, and we also can see this today when many people hear that the computers and the internet are destroying our connection with others. So that's kind of the same way of how literacy is destroying our memory. Just a more literal form of this translation is that the Druids were worried that if people began to write everything down, they would be less enthusiastic about practicing like the art or the form of memory. Eos in this case is a subject accusative of studere. Okay, so here Eos is going to be the subject accusative of studere, which is an infinitive, but although we have a subject accusative and an infinitive, discant is a present active indicative, so we don't have any type of clause, rather it's just going to be the subject. Here we know that minus goes with studere because minus is an adverb, so it would be to strive less for memory. If it was an adjective, then it would be to strive for less memory, but since we have an adverb, it'll be to strive less for memory. So now we're going to start with quod because it nearly happens to most that with the help of letters, they release their painstaking care in learning thoroughly and in their memory. So here we know that praesidio literarum is going to be an ablative of manner because you cannot hold help. Perdiscendo is a gerund because it uses a present active infinitive base with the stem nd. Since there is no direct object or indirect object, this has to be a gerund rather than a gerundive. And this last statement right here is going to be a relative clause because we have a subjunctive verb, remittent. This is going to be a present active subjunctive.